And good evening, plebeians. It's Friday night here at RivalCast Media, and we are proud to give you your latest edition of RCM on Tap, your 60-ish minute roundtable discussion show where we go behind the scenes at RivalCast Media and with our rival friends to give you the very best that the internet has to offer. I'm going to unmute the guys now and introduce our fantastic guest for this evening. So, filling in for Biomed Alchemist tonight, Baron Von Gosu, welcome!
Hi.
Full killer.
Killer?
Same length of beard, but twice the man. That's me, baby.
As always, I am joined by Killer McCoy, my loyal partner in crime. And in fourth chair tonight, a very special guest, just arriving back from his cruise with his own listeners. It's Fen from Ventchat. Welcome!
Hello. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
Wow, I feel so honored.
Absolutely. Oh, okay. So, first of all, I've been stalking you for the last couple of weeks as you made your way up the coast from San Francisco to Alaska, got on the boat. Those pictures were just amazing, and I'm exceptionally jealous of your train ride because, damn, and the little cheese and crackers and everything. So tell us about your cruise.
Oh man, it was
I'm so
fantastic.
excited about this.
We do a meetup kind of every year, and this was the smallest one, but I think it was the smallest because we went on a week-long cruise in Alaska, so we had 14 of us, and we had a couple from New Zealand that had never been out here, came out here for their honeymoon, and they did it with us. We had another Australian, we had Bermudan, we had people from all over, and I started in LA, took a train to Seattle, then flew to Anchorage. All of us met in Anchorage and stayed at a house, an Airbnb, a big old Airbnb for a couple nights. Then took another train and got on a boat, went on a week-long cruise to a bunch of different ports, Juneau, Ketchikan, Skagway, etc. And then after we got off the boat, we stayed in Vancouver at another Airbnb, which was just like a mansion. And stayed there for 2 nights, and then we went home. So it was like a 2-week-long adventure. Yeah, it was fantastic. And we saw glaciers and whales and porpoises and drunk Alaskans, and just everything heart desires.
And a natural habitat.
That's right.
Crocky, there's a drunken Eskimo right there.
Saw a couple of those for sure. Yeah, it was one of those things. It's like we did New Orleans last year, and that was much more accessible, and we ended up having, I think, like about 50 or 60 people.
Oh, nice.
And we had a 30-room hotel that was just us for the long weekend, basically, which was really cool. So we owned the whole place, and it had like a rooftop bar and a pool and all that. And so this was far smaller, but it's we realized, some people have children and things to do, and they can't just pop off and leave work for 2 weeks right after Labor Day weekend. So
Yeah.
But it was a blast. We had a great time.
So, you've done the get-togethers for a number of years too. So you've been to New Orleans, you've been on this cruise. What other sorts of things has your group done?
The very first one we did was Vegas, which was scary because that was no one had seen what we look like. We had 2 of us that are out here, and at that time we had 4 hosts. So 2 of us are out here in California, and then 1 in Wisconsin and 1 in Virginia, and we hadn't even met the other 2 hosts in real life yet. We've been podcasting with them for like 3 years, maybe 3+ years. So we went to Vegas, and then, we're getting listeners that aren't going, saying like, someone's going to kill you out there. Someone's going to have a gun, and you're going to end your life out there. And, we're freaking out already about going. And that ended up being fantastic. We met, I think, about 30 some odd listeners the first time, and had a blast of a weekend in Vegas, and everybody got along and all that stuff. And then a year later, I actually hopped on an RV from Los Angeles all the way to New Jersey with 7 listeners who had only met once, and went on an RV with them for 2 weeks, stopping at all these cities along the way. And we had people that listened in every city. So when we stopped in Louisville, we had people that we met in Louisville that took us out. And when we stopped in I don't know, Philadelphia, or we stopped in Flagstaff, Nashville, etc. We'd have people there, and we'd go meet listeners the whole way. And then a lot of those people came to New Orleans, and some of those came to Alaska. So we've got now, people we know all over the U.S. and Australia, and we had Romanian come out and all that stuff. So it's been real, real fun.
Very cool.
We see a Romanian and give you a Finland.
What's that?
Give you a Norwegian. But
He's
Yeah,
trying
that
to
one.
he's trying to up the ante a little bit here.
yeah,
He's like, well, we had somebody come from insert country here.
yeah, exactly. First
I think
time
New
in-
Yeah.
Zealand, New
We had a
Zealand
couple
was
from Portugal.
the rarest one we've
Hmm.
had.
Hmm.
Bermuda, if that counts.
From the
Oh,
triangle itself.
Hey, they had to cross space and time to get to you, so
That's right.
That's
happens.
dedication.
It
That
is.
is.
It really
I
is.
will not doubt that person's commitment to Sparkle Motion.
Although now I'm thinking what we'll do for RivalCon 2020 to announce our, presidential bid.
Hey.
Oh,
speaking
it
of
has to be
this,
Washington, yeah.
I was
Yeah.
listening last week, and are you guys doing a meetup in, was it Cleveland?
Yep.
Yeah.
Next summer.
Our next one, if things hold to where they are, is going to be in Cincinnati about a year from now. I think minus a week or two, because apparently Cincinnati has the biggest Oktoberfest outside of Germany. I think it's, end of September, early October, some point in there. And so we decided, we have a lot of listeners in that area, and we haven't done anything kind of in that area of the U.S., so we're going to do that, I think, next year.
It's a good place to be.
But where are all of you guys spread out at, or are you where are you located?
Well, Baron and I are in Cleveland. So,
Okay.
I mean, that
That's what I
makes
thought.
it like super simple for us. Killer is sort
I'm
of
in Oklahoma.
1,200
Gotcha.
miles away from me,
Gotcha.
but
A long trip.
Well, you're
Yeah.
cordially invited if you'd love
Okay.
to go. I'm since I've heard this now, I think I've heard about 3 other places claim that they have the biggest Oktoberfest outside of Germany, but we're just gonna say Cincinnati does because they claimed first.
well, Cincinnati's pretty cool too because you've got the river right there, and they have the ferry boats that go up and down that you can have dinner on the ferry boat, and it's pretty nice. It's pretty nice. We drove down through there right after we got married
I've always
on
wanted
our way
to
to
go.
the Jim Beam factory. That was our honeymoon.
The Jim Beam Factory. That's classy.
We're married now. We need booze. Let's go.
Well, we went on. It wasn't like that was our destination. It was we decided to go on a road trip to somewhere we hadn't been, and I had never been to Cincinnati before. So we decided that we were going to just go down there. We were going to try to make the ferry boat to have dinner, but we had just missed it by like 15 minutes. So we decided to just keep going, and we started stopping at all like the rest stops to see, what's in the area. What are these tourist attractions? And the only thing that showed up in any of these rest stops for tourist attractions were going back to Cleveland or going to the Jim Beam and doing the bourbon run. Because they have a
I
bunch
would've
of different.
thought Kentucky would have had more to offer.
I know, right? They have like 6 distilleries down there that, if you get with the right group, you can actually go on a tour and hit all the distilleries in one day, and they give you a little passport so you can do little tastings there, and they stamp your book, and you do this bourbon run, and we didn't
And
do
then we were
all
also-
of that.
And then we were also told that if we wanted the authentic deliverance experience, simply use our GPS to go wandering off into the woods and watch where it leads you. Didn't really want that experience.
So,
Well, if you're around, we'd love
Definitely.
to have you.
definitely.
And,
Drake.
they don't have, Cincinnati claims they have the biggest October fest outside of Germany. We'll make sure it is with us.
Yeah. If it doesn't, we'll bring it.
Just think,
Now,
Killer,
I
that's...
can't remember now. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to tell Killer it would be slightly less of a drive for him. Wink.
Just slightly.
Wink.
I'll
He's
bring
kind
You
of
got
girlfriend.
people. Go ahead.
he's
Sorry.
kind of come up
Oh.
a few times.
Yeah, that's a bit of a stretch. That's a decent drive for sure.
It is.
1,200
It is.
miles.
Yeah, it is. I have to split it up. It's too much.
we have a few people, like we have some people I know that listen in Louisville, and then we got another, some in Nashville, some in Indianapolis, some in Chicago, and so that was kind of a central spot to a lot of people that haven't, obviously maybe couldn't make Alaska or somewhere else, but we're trying to cover all over. And we have a good patch of Australian/New Zealanders that are like Ventchat Australia 2018. I was like, oh man, I wish.
It's just a little bit of planning. Make it happen.
Yeah, if planning, I wish that planning equaled money, and then I'd definitely be able to make it.
It's all good.
Like step 1, do this. Step 2, blah blah blah. Step 3, step 4, profit.
Have you guys met listeners and been in like a weird, awkward situation where it's like, that first 30 seconds of meeting?
To be perfectly honest, and this is going to sound strange, but I think probably the oddest thing that we've ever had with like meeting for the first time wasn't even with a listener, but it was like those first couple minutes, the first time Killer came to Cleveland, because he flew in and we went to get him from the airport, and he hadn't actually met us yet. I mean, we'd done the video chats and everything for the show, but he hadn't actually like physically been there yet, and he had a similar experience to, make sure to take your gun with you, make sure you don't know, you're just flying up there by yourself. And so
we let a guy who we knew was carrying a firearm come into our house to stay.
So we went to pick him up from Cleveland Hopkins, and it was nighttime when his flight came in too, and his flight was late. Yeah. So we had to pull up to get him, and he's in all black, and he has this little backpack, and he's just like looking very intense, like, where am I going? There's people everywhere. And I remember getting out of the car, because he's like everyone's super tall in comparison to me. So they knew this going in, but I remember getting out of the car so that he could get in the front seat, and I was going to move to the back, and he just did this double take, like looking at me like, you really are that short.
Tiny.
And after that, we were good. But yeah, I think that was probably the only really awkward moment we've ever had with listeners so far.
I had
thankfully.
one. I had a pretty interesting one. We did Orb Fest. And people started showing up, and then they turned to me as if to do introductions, and I had no idea who the fuck half you people were. They're like, so you're going to introduce us? And I'm just thinking in my head, no. Somebody's going to introduce me. It's like, I'm the one who's on camera. You fuckers know who I am. I don't necessarily know who you are.
I
that was
took
awkward.
care of it.
That was the fantastic thing about our first meeting in Vegas, because we had never put pictures of ourselves on the internet ever. And we all use pseudonyms. I mean, Fen is not my real name. That's, from going back 7 years, like a World of Warcraft name. But the 4 hosts, 2 of which we'd never seen before, even a picture, and we were sharing a suite in the Luxor in Vegas. And so that first 5 minutes of like walking in there, and it's like, so hi, and just kind of the same sort of thing. But then even better was when listeners started showing up. Like I said, we had probably about 30 people, but they didn't all come in at once. We were meeting at like the bar downstairs or whatever, just sort of kind of congregating. And we had another guy. Everyone knew I was pretty tall. I'm about 6'4", 6'5". And we had another guy show up who's about 6'6" or so, maybe 6'7", and he was a listener, and he was wearing a Ventchat t-shirt. And after we had about 5 people there, I just told him, like, hey, when the next person, next few people come in, just tell them you're me. And so he did, and they didn't even catch the voice difference or anything. He's just like, hey, I'm Fen, and you just start shaking me. Oh, Fen, nice to meet you. And I'm sitting like 15 feet away, just watching this guy that's not me get introduced to listeners that don't know. It was just fantastic.
That was amazing. You would think with our current, audio technology, it's pretty close to the actual voice now. I mean, maybe like 10 or 15 years ago, there was a difference. There was like a subtle difference.
Right, and this guy wasn't even close. This guy was like, hey, I'm Fen, nice to meet you. It was like, but people didn't, they were so like nervous or weirded out. Like they didn't even think twice. They're like, oh my gosh, hi, nice to meet you. Whatever. Like,
I'm such a fan.
I've been listening to you guys for a long time or something. Yeah. But no, I mean, at this point now, we've got a lot of listeners that went from listeners to like friends. I'd probably say a good 30, 40 people now that I've met multiple times, gone on vacations with multiple times, you know, that kind of thing. And we really just have like a fan base that, you know, bends over backwards for us, or we'd bend over backwards for them. You know, a core group of people, I'd say, that come to a lot of the stuff that we go to, where it's kind of crossed that bridge of like, I'm a listener to, you know, like, I know this guy now, you know.
Mm-hmm. You know what to say, friends will help you move furniture. Best, you know, good friends will actually help you move the bodies.
Right. Well, that's the thing. Like, you know, they're listeners, and then I spent 2 weeks with them on a cruise and all this stuff, and now they're not listeners anymore. They're just, you know, oh, that's Allie, and that's Andrew, and that's, you know, so-and-so.
So let's reel it back 7 years. Because this started off as a World of Warcraft podcast.
Indeed.
And, I mean, at that point, I mean, you couldn't have had any idea that it was going to blow up the way it did. And, you know, 7 years in the future, you'd be going on cruises with people and having massive meetups in cities all over the country. So what got you started with, you know, these podcasts in the first place?
Well, I was listening to a couple other shows. One was called /2, who's actually recording, I think, in about like 10 minutes or so, and they're still going. And the other one was Dreadcast, which no longer exists. And one of them was really organized and like had, you know, we go from this topic to this topic to this topic. And the other one /2 is like wide open. It may not even be about WoW. It might end up being about Star Wars or comic books, or, you know. And I kind of wanted to do one in between that, where we had topics or we had ideas, but if we went off on a tangent, we could still keep going on it. And so I thought, oh, I'll do one that's kind of in the middle of those. They're both WoW podcasts. So I decided to do it. And this is when I was neck deep in WoW. I was a guild leader. I was, you know, playing every night of the week, all that stuff. And so I would say I almost reluctantly got my co-host to do it. It wasn't really their, you know, nobody, even my guild was just like, I don't give a shit about your podcast. Just, you know, run the guild. Let's raid. And I'd say we were like a medium serious guild, you know, not crazy, but we got some server firsts, you know, for achievements and things like that. And cut to about like, I don't know how far in, maybe a year or two in, we were in the end of Wrath of the Lich King expansion. And for those that played WoW, you know, they didn't put out any new content for like 7 or 8 months or something like that. And so we were done with everything, and we were doing a show every Saturday. We just didn't have anything to talk about. And so we started just doing bits, like dumb, you know, ideas we'd come up with. I mean, I could read you a long list, but I won't. But, you know, we did stuff like, this is pretty later on, but we actually called escorts, and then we did a bit called Ask an Escort, and we'd ask them questions, and then we'd see if listeners could match what their answers were.
Holy crap.
We did,
That's fucking hilarious.
That is, I want to do that now.
Yeah, I know. I saw the glint in your eye right there.
Sorry, did you?
No, we did one called When Dudes Cry, where I would find clips of men crying, and then you would try and figure out why. You'd have to tell me why they were crying. What is it? You know, and it might be like a guy eating the hottest chili pepper of all time, or it might be a guy that, you know, his girlfriend dumped him. I don't know, on and on and on. We just came up with these ideas, and we started doing them. And I almost have to thank World of Warcraft for their lack of expansion or any sort of content to turn our show into what it is. So here we are 7 years later, kind of.
Yeah.
And all of us since then have quit WoW. One of us is actually kind of going back this expansion, but, you know, none of us have played WoW for years now. But yeah, I hear this expansion's pretty good. Have you been playing it?
It's actually pretty good.
Yeah,
I'm impressed.
One of us is going back. I'm one of those guys, though. I can't. If I pick it up, it's going to be a problem. You know what I mean? Like it. I might end up, you know, going back full speed, and I don't know if I can handle that.
Too much going on now. Yeah.
They say relapse is normal, though.
Well, I'll tell you. I did play the next expansion. I played and didn't tell anybody. Just leveled up because I wanted to see. It was Cataclysm, and they changed the leveling from 1 to 60. Yeah. And so I played without telling anybody, just to see what the changes were, and then quit again. But yeah, I don't know if I could start playing again without getting too overly hooked on it. So I'm kind of on the fence, even though it sounds good this time around.
It's understandable.
See, Killer has a very supportive group around him that
I do.
When he goes and sits in the Warcraft orgy room in our TeamSpeak server, we just periodically go down like, hey, Killer, how you doing down there, buddy?
Make sure and drink some water and get some sleep.
You've been in there for 3 hours. We need to step that back.
Stuff. Come on.
Your girlfriend's calling.
I've got plenty of enablers that would gladly play with me, 12 hours a day, no problem. Like easily I could get sucked back in. That's why it's so dangerous.
Oh yeah. Well, luckily for me, I'm actually at a point in my life where I actually have, a girlfriend. So if things come to a head, she's gonna literally,
unplug his computer from the wall.
Yeah, she'll pull me out.
She's gonna unplug the computer directly from the wall.
Yeah, pretty much.
It'll just be
That's
zipping.
That's a positive thing.
Yeah, it is a positive thing. So I always have that safety net.
Yep.
One of my hosts has since had a couple kids, so he's, got plenty to do. My other host, however, the one that is going to play again, his wife actually plays as much as he does, which is just as bad. I just saw both of them in Vancouver. They came up and hung out with us for a couple nights, and even a couple of people I used to raid with came up from Seattle area, and I'd met them for the first time, and it was dangerous because one of them actually brought their laptop and was showing people here's the new WoW, and I was like, don't let me see it.
Wow.
It's like a drug deal right
there.
You got the money? I'll show you the new patch.
You get that out of this room right now.
Just picturing Killer.
Call this one cinematics.
I'm just picturing Killer at the next RivalCon, coming up to to Bubba in his trench coat and just want to see the new updates. Just pull him into a dark alley.
Seriously, it's dangerous. I mean, it's beautiful. It's a nice escape and great and all that stuff, but you can get in there and man,
you can
lose yourself.
I can't even really pick on you that much, Killer, because you've had to pull me out of Sims on a couple of different occasions.
Sims? No, let's talk about Farmville.
May have yelled at you a little bit.
Let's talk about your spreadsheets and how you would actually get your day planned around when crops had to be planted and farmed in Farmville.
That is not
we had an intervention,
entirely
an actual
accurate.
Intervention. We could have put a fucking camera on this and sold it as reality television. That's how fucking ridiculous it got.
That did happen, yes, but I did not plan my day. No, Baron, I did not plan my day around the farms.
We went over the 12 steps.
What I did was I planned what crops I wanted to plant in the morning around my day so that when I would stop back in the apartment, I would be able to harvest my crops and plant new ones and therefore increase my profits. That was how it was. The farming was planned around the day, not the day planned around the farming. There is a difference there.
Is there?
No, there really isn't. That's why it's called denial. Good to see you, good old friend.
So mean.
I'm mean.
Accurate, but mean. Yeah.
Someone's sleeping on the couch tonight.
That's why I picked the comfy one.
I know. That's great. Besides all the, the icky stuff on it.
No, it could be anything. I mean, it could be WoW. It could be, there's. I've been sucked into other games just as fiercely. I used to play EverQuest way back in the day, and
oh crap.
That's where I started my spiral into madness.
Ultima Online for me.
Oh, okay, yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Oh, speaking of other addictions, I have to make some more jerky for a coworker. Yeah.
Giggity?
Killer.
I know.
I just want to mention that when Kate came to visit on tap, and you said that you would make a batch and send her a little bit, which you did, but you were supposed to send another package at the same time that never made it to my house.
I know what you're talking
and
about.
I'm a little bit.
No.
I got a Jones in, Killer. Damn it, Killer.
This is such a surreal experience for me because I get to listen to my wife start out about how she's obsessively watching another guy and stalking him while he's going up the coast and all this other stuff. And now I get to go ahead and watch her throw herself for my friend's man meat. And I just, ridiculous.
You've had it, Baron. You know how good it is.
I'm not whoring myself for it, though.
It's a killer. All kidding
That's
aside,
right.
though,
I destroy marriages.
you're making some more jerky, eh?
You realize she's not kidding, right?
I know.
Not kidding at all.
I know.
You can tell she has an addiction because her face just turned all red. I've seen that frequently.
Have you guys ever been sent stuff from listeners and wondered if you should eat it?
Yes.
I've had a couple times where I've, questioned some things.
See, they don't usually send food. Like one guy sent me like a Lego Ecto 1, which is pretty badass. I think it was Sam. I think it was you actually, which was pretty freaking cool.
Mm-hmm.
There were some pieces missing, Sam. No, I'm just kidding.
I've had a couple things. Nothing. I mean, mainly stuff that I knew was okay, but like homemade hot sauce and stuff. Like,
Wow.
it always runs through your head. Like, if somebody wanted to poison me, this is a good way to do it.
That's when you find someone to test it for you.
I don't know who would do that, but
Well, you invite somebody over that's that kind of semi-friend, semi-acquaintance. You wouldn't necessarily miss them if something bad happened to them, but you're kind of like hanging out with them on occasion.
Yeah.
You invite them over for a party, and you're like, here, try this out. This stuff's new. And just don't say where you got it from. Not that I've done this from personal experience or anything.
Ooh, better yet, I've just figured out a use for extended family get-togethers at the holidays. So, like, your cousin's husband that you never really quite cared for, that would be the one. That would be it.
Tom, come on over here and give us a try.
Well, you can't do it now because there's video evidence of it. You planning this, so he's out now. Good job.
Can't be anybody too close. I don't want to be responsible for,
Yeah.
He's got feign ignorance.
Sometimes the family needs to be weeded out. I'm just saying.
Natural selection by hot sauce.
For the greater good.
The greater good.
I'm so glad you're my friends.
I love that movie.
I do too. And here's the sad thing. I will never be able to get Princess Candy to watch it.
What?
Why?
He doesn't like British movies. Just doesn't do anything for her. It's okay though. It's okay. There's always going to be those things that we don't agree on, but that's okay because there are other things that bind us together.
Like getting laid. That's the only reason I can see you accepting this.
This is hilarious. Okay, so Wednesday nights have been the new South Park episodes have been airing, right? Well, this week, so we're both South Park fans. We love it. We're gonna watch Wednesday night together at my house. Of course, they didn't air the new episode, so we were kind of texting. What do we do now? There's nothing to do. And we're both tired, and it's been a long day. So we decided to just look up South Park trivia. That's what we did for like an hour and a half. I'm not kidding. The South Park trivia.
Oh, we never said you're kidding. We're just trying to figure out to break the news to you that that's incredibly sad. That she still does not like British movies.
Yeah, I'm a little... I mean, I had high hopes that she and I would be BFFs one day and that she could be a pumpkin spice girl, but... I mean, you know how I feel about my British TV and movies.
I know.
I mean, that's sort of a deal breaker right there. I mean,
that's it. When we meet her, we're just gonna start saying "knee" at her, just because we have to now.
Although I told her about this, her name is now Princess Candy, and we're discussing what we're dressing up for. Joking about how we'll dress up for Halloween. It's like, you know what? I'll dress up as the Princess Candy.
I still have to say I give her some partial credit because at least she found the bodyguard themed wedding a really good idea. That you guys would come out to "I Will Always" or whatever.
No, we're not doing that.
No.
We're going to do the Trading Place, Coming to America song.
Yeah.
Wow.
You remember that scene, right?
Yeah.
Oh, what do you mean? Yeah, that's hilarious.
Not as cool as the bodyguard though. Come on, it would have been Kevin Costner. She would have been Whitney Houston before she got all coked up and crazy. Or at least was successfully coked up and crazy.
I remember that song.
See? Thank you.
Well, both of them. I mean, God, how does it go? Like,
which one?
She's singing real high. She's your one love, your true love.
She's your queen.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one.
Someone got a message.
Yeah.
I'm willing to bet that's Bio saying, "Hey, you never wrote me back." That's because I was doing
exactly.
pre-show. Yep.
But to give Finn some information.
Oh no, he's watching right now. Shame
course
on
he
you,
is.
Biomed. Shame. But also, completely expected because I would be shaming you twice as hard if you weren't watching. But no, Bio's message says, "See, this is why you two must do a battle invoking an octagon." I'm starting to come around, I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, come on.
You hear
Yeah.
the battle music from Star Trek.
Yeah, exactly.
I've actually got that music. Let me see.
Oh. So yeah. No, I mean, because with that song, we were watching it with her family.
Yes!
I won't play the whole thing. I just let you know I have it.
Thank you. It's not like we didn't believe you. I mean, come on. This is the 21st century. We have access to everything.
I mean, I've got it on a soundboard we use it all the time.
Exactly. Oh shoot! I got one of my favorite things.
Mr. Meeseeks,
Mr. Meeseeks, look at me!
That is a good one.
I love
That
that
takes
one.
over our staff meetings on Thursday nights.
God,
You and Baron start going back and forth at one another.
You have deeply offended us and our God is a God of vengeance and horror.
And action!
Our God is an Indian that turns into a wolf.
I did that to somebody at work like 3 weeks ago, and they just looked at me like I was crazy.
you are crazy.
Yeah, I'm a little
And now,
bit.
or this video will now be banned on YouTube.
Oh well,
Oh well.
it happens.
Yeah.
Or we can edit out like the 5 seconds that we had it and just move on.
It's too much effort. I got better things to do, like play WoW, watch South Park with my girlfriend who doesn't like British TV.
Why do you keep bringing that up, Killer?
Oh,
Because secretly he's ashamed, he just doesn't want to admit it.
Apparently she's been watching us because I'm down for a fight if that means I don't get out of watching British movies.
Oh shit! Everybody's watching tonight. Why? Because we have excellent guests.
I got her commitment to Sparkle Motion here. I have to. It's done.
I can feel my face getting more pink as the night goes on. This is amazing. Well, Princess Candy, welcome. I'm sorry that, well...
I want it on the record, though, I did not have anything to do with the creation of that name.
What about the IT crowd? Give that a go at all?
No,
No,
No.
wouldn't work.
no,
No, I've never
No.
seen it.
no. I even had her try watching Blazing Saddles.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
I bet that went over real well, didn't it?
Yeah, but not for the reasons you think. She like, okay, now I understand your humor. I didn't find it really funny, though.
Well,
Okay.
it is quite in your face about it.
It is. That's one of my favorite Mel Brooks movies. Although I would have to give it the Young Frankenstein's my favorite one. But
Good choice.
yeah, Spaceball's pretty good too.
I've always had a soft spot for his rendition of Robin Hood.
That is a good one too.
I still think Dracula Dead and Loving It was underrated. It had its good moments.
Yeah. So good times, good times.
Blazing Saddles is a classic, though.
It is a classic.
It is.
It's just it was the right movie at the right time.
More beans? I think you've had enough.
Bongo just pawned in life.
I still see that as people's Twitter quote or something all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. I have more things to talk about. I'm just trying to figure out how I'm going to extract myself from the Octagon
Transition.
match at RivalCon 2017.
It'd be great.
It's too late. It's done. We're taking bets.
Yeah.
You guys were taking bets when I was saying it's not happening, so damn.
And
Yeah, but
You know,
now it's on.
You both have to dress up now. She's gonna.
No! No, we
Yes!
don't!
Yes.
We
it
do
would be
not!
Amazing.
And in this corner. See, I've been working to my
Alright,
master voice for it.
alright. Just the fact that you two are both together on this show, joining up like this. And because I know that Princess Candy is watching, just for this, I can set aside the British thing so we can form an alliance to kick these two's ass collectively.
Sunday,
And you know what?
Sunday,
We
Sunday.
should dress up for it. We should dress up with what the hell did Vampy call them? Vampy has a specific name for them. But they're like combat boots but cuter. Oh, her curb stomping boots. We're gonna get curb stomping boots and we're gonna do that and we're gonna kick these two.
You'll pay for the whole seat, but you'll only need the edge.
If you miss it, you better be dead or in jail. And if you're in jail, break out.
It's terrible.
We're gonna make Bio dress like a monkey. And by a monkey, I mean in a tuxedo, so that he can be the ringside announcer too.
You mean a gorilla?
Because that would be funny. Perfect. A gorilla with a bow tie.
Yeah,
This is now a thing, ladies and gentlemen. This
Who
is
Framed
now a
Roger
thing.
Rabbit. Don't you remember that? Had a gorilla in a monkey suit.
I didn't really care for Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
What is wrong with you?
I think
Who the hell did I marry?
I don't know. Oh, apparently we're getting another text from Princess Candy.
Does she accept my proposal for an
It says,
alliance?
Bitch, it's on. I love
Yes,
it.
yes. She says hell yes.
Yes! I shall contact Vampy. We shall get the curb stomping boots.
We'll have to make sure hers are in pink.
Oh,
way too
Bio's
excited about
texting
this.
me now. What's Bio on?
Ooh.
I knew it! So we started invoking Harambe, and my text message back goes, "May peace be upon him."
Jesus Christ.
I was waiting for it, Bio. I was waiting for it. Oh, wow. So this show just kind of went completely off the rails.
Sorry about that, Ben. Sorry about that.
No, that's pretty much us every week.
See, you've never had an experience, though, where, at one of your community get-togethers where anyone's had to, like, fight one another and
Oh no!
form alliances and stomp their boyfriends and such.
At Campathon 2 years ago, we had all manner of LARPing utensils, and we beat the snot out of each other.
Oh, that's amazing.
We did an arena and everything.
Jesus Christ. Now I'm thinking about the episode in South Park where the kids actually do the wrestling, and they actually make it into like a big opera thing with wrestling. It's amazing. I feel like we should do that for 2017.
I've done the whole backyard wrestling
Exactly.
thing.
See, you already have experience. You know what to do, how to stage us, what the scripts to write out.
Yeah.
You know what? All joking aside, I had a lot of fun writing and coming up with shit for a wrestling show. It was so much fun, and it was so easy. Just like the stupidest shit. Like the sandwich on a pole match. It was still brilliant, I think. Because the running gag is we were all like poor, and we were doing this pro wrestling thing to try to make ends meet. So I had my buddy Joey, who was Captain Insano, who came out in a Jason mask and a cape. And he was going up against Big Fugly, because he was a pretty fucking ugly guy. And we had a step ladder match, because, we were afraid of people actually getting hurt, and we didn't want to get sued, because we're doing this in a yard. I mean, we came up with some of the stupidest freaking things. We came up with fake sponsors, that way we could use excuses to use different types of weapons made out of cardboard and shit, just to make it look fun. Oh, it was great.
Wasn't Captain Insano the Water Boys?
Yes.
Captain Insano.
We totally ripped it off. And then we had another guy who came out, we called him the Flash. He came out with a little black bandana, and he came out to pretty fly for a white guy, and he danced. Who's now a math teacher, ironically enough, for the high school. One of his students would like to see some video of that one.
Oh, that would be amazing.
Oh, we had a lot of fun. We did that for a few years. It was great and it was fun to learn how to do the wrestling stuff, because we had a couple guys who were pros that were doing it, who had been trained. We eventually got to use an actual ring, which was an interesting experience.
I can imagine. Is it like a springboard type thing underneath it or something like that?
It's plywood with a really thick canvas on top of it, and it's on a bunch of springs. So that way it sets out the vibration, so it doesn't hurt when you fall on it.
Exactly.
But it sounds good when you get thrown down on it.
Yeah.
Baron, I don't have the announcer voice to read Epic Lurker's comment in chat, but you need to read it. for
This
posterity.
Sunday, catch the match of your lifetime. Princess Candy brings the power of chaos as she faces off against the bionic barbarian Baroness in a table, ladders, chairs, and microphones grudge match. If this match had any more violent, the police would step in. Be there.
Jesus Christ.
It would have been better if you hadn't started laughing in the middle of it. But, you know.
The bionic barbarian Baroness. It's just a fucking hilarious phrase. The Triple B versus the Double D live on free per-view.
I'm gonna have a very busy weekend, I have a feeling.
Yeah.
Oh, Sayla's in chat also saying peace be upon him.
Yeah.
Harambe.
Oh God, that again.
Yes, that again.
I'm
Well,
still...
let me know if you televise that. I'll definitely tune in.
We probably will. We'll probably record it. There's no way we're not recording that.
Oh my God.
I have the green screen shit set up for an actual play-by-play thing, so we could do this.
Right. Imagine. You and Vi are just sitting.
Just bantering back and forth, doing like
Hey.
just talking about the post-game or the pre-game show. Play some Eye of the Tiger in the background.
Right.
WWE, the announcers get, smacked around quite a bit too. Just saying.
No,
Barry.
they usually don't.
Usually,
The
but
tables get broken, but they don't usually get smacked around.
on
So
occasion.
if you want to throw candy through a table or vice versa, I mean,
What?
you can do that. Usually it's the
Just
Spanish
imagine
announce
him.
table, so we can pretend to speak Spanish for a second. Hola, caramba! And just watch the table like explode.
Oh, wow.
I'm liking this idea more and more.
I am too.
Wow.
Chick
Terrible.
fights too. I'm in so much trouble later.
Yes, you are, and so am I.
Worth it.
It's all right.
I'm so glad I'm going to be streaming for a while after this, so she has a chance to calm down.
Oh no, she's a woman. She's gonna harbor it. She's gonna hold it. She's
That
gonna
is
wait
true.
till
I'm
you
going to use this
forget.
time to plot. It'll be excellent.
Mhm.
It'll be excellent.
Yes.
Paven says he thinks his ears exploded from your dramatic announcer voice.
Paven,
Exactly.
you know me. You know I get excitable.
Yeah, I don't think they're used to having like that sort of volume level on tap though. Most
That
of
is
the time.
true.
I mean, we kind of
that's
have
not
my
my
mic
fault.
turned down so that I'm not blasting people's ears out when I get mad at the other two.
Well, wait, hold on. Let me check my list here. Let's see. Oh, there it is. It's listed under your problem. So
Right. Oh my god.
Is it bad that I just immediately went to an idea for the RCM yellow pages?
Yeah,
Everything's under Y for your problem.
Christ.
perhaps we should call you a ambulance. Wah, 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 wah.
So Finn, how are things?
I'm just enjoying the thought of this idea.
I know. I mean, it's gonna be pretty epic. I have to admit, but
Hmm.
let's talk more about you and embarrassing moments about your life.
Well, there's plenty of those, I'm sure.
Yeah, of course, everyone has them.
So how did
Yeah.
you meet your co-hosts anyway? I mean, you mentioned that the two on the other side of the country you hadn't even met before your first big get together. So how
One of
did that?
them- Yeah, one of them was a roommate. We kind of knew the same people in college and ended up living together for like a year after college. And also was at the time we lived together. I knew I was going to be starting a new business in about 3 months, and so I had about 3 months of just no work. And he also was unemployed for about 3 months, and so we were playing just endless video games together. And eventually we played WoW together, and then met the other two playing World of Warcraft. But I knew he would be a good co-host, and I slowly had to drag him in. At first he wouldn't do it at all, and then I got him to call and leave messages, and then I finally got him to get on a whole show, and we've been going ever since that way. And the other two were guildmates of mine, and one of them was the raid leader. He especially is kind of quiet and reserved, and was the guy that was just like, why would you want me on a podcast? I'm be terrible. but we kind of needed him. He's kind of the voice of reason, and he doesn't talk all that much, but
the straight man.
Yeah, exactly. And it still works that way. The other two of us, do the majority of the talking, but he's kind of the, keeps us in line, so to speak.
Kind of the glue, kind of the tendons.
Exactly. And you wouldn't think of it, but then when he's gone, when he's missed a couple episodes, he's missed rarely, you really notice it. We get out of line and there's no one to stop us.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what happens with me and Bio, with Baroness.
No, we actually have a code word when we start arguing too much. Someone shouts pumpernickel, and we actually have a song that we start to play called the Pumpernickel Song, and that's our cue that we're arguing way too much and we have to stop, and it's not entertaining to the listener.
Kind of like a safe word.
Yeah. So
the
usually
safe word's banana.
Podcasting safe word.
Yeah, that started years ago, pumpernickel, and then we actually made up a pumpernickel song. If I have it,
that sounds like a good idea. We might want to steal that one.
We might actually.
We'll get going on something, and it's just we can easily. We've known each other, the two of us, for years and years, and we can just
push all the buttons.
Go until exactly, like nowhere to hit each other. So I won't play the whole thing, but this
Pumpernickel.
And then we start playing that.
Pumpernickel.
Anyway, that's our cue to. That's our cue to. It goes on and on, but that's when that starts playing. It's like, hey, stop! No one wants to hear you argue anymore. Because to a certain point, arguing is entertaining.
Oh yeah.
And then after a while, it's just like, hey, that's enough, guys.
Yeah, you're yelling the same point over and over again.
Right.
Baron.
We only did that once on our show that I remember, and what we ended up doing was a very special episode where Bio and I just had it out in the courtroom with Killer's life in the balance.
Great times. I swear to God, I'm never hiring Bio again. I throw myself on the mercy of the judge, which Bio is not known for mercy.
That's true. You were kind of guilty before you walked in the door.
Kind of was.
Yeah, a little bit there. A little bit.
I mean, he was already, arrested and thrown in jail and interrogated. I mean, how could he not be guilty? Oh, that was great. I just loved it. I got the makeup and everything done.
Like Judge Judy style? Judge Wapner style?
Well, we kind of did the Matlock thing.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, if you if you haven't seen it, it's worth at least going and looking at the intro that Killer spliced together. Of he took the entire Matlock intro, and I had this so early on in the show. I don't do this anymore because I just don't have time for it. But early on in the show, I would do I would do screenshots for when we posted the video so that each video would have its own thing. And I still do that, but at the beginning, I would go through like every episode and just take screenshot after screenshot of just different expressions and different things to try to like make the best one that I could. And then I saved all of these photos. So I have like this file of just nothing but, Bio's funny faces or Killer smiling or just different expressions. And Killer's like, yeah, we need to go back through and find like screenshots of like these different things. I was like, got it. He's like, that's creepy as hell. I was like, well, it's here.
It's creepy.
Here you go. You're welcome.
There were some great ones too.
Yeah.
Just changes the entire context of what Matlock intro is.
It was glorious. It was glorious.
Are you talking about the Matlock intro getting stuck in your head the other day?
Yeah.
Because we were talking the exact same thing about it. Yeah, but now it's in my head now.
We actually did way back when we had to do a show without my other verbose co-host, and I actually made up like 3 soundboards of him talking, saying various things from old shows, and then would just play him saying things whenever I needed it. And did angry. Oops, sorry, that wasn't it. I had him, my other co-host, and the nickname is Turdat, and that's also a World of Warcraft thing, but I could do anything I wanted, like
hello everyone.
you know, just him saying whatever I want.
Yeah.
You know.
Can you hear me? Do I sound nasally?
Are you there, Turdat?
Turdat's here.
Yeah, things like that. I had probably like 200 sounds of him just talking where I would
that's
just,
pretty good.
like, oh, he's, you know, and just play the Turdat soundboard when he wasn't there.
You ever tried to see like how long you could go before anybody like kind of realized that he wasn't actually there?
Oh, when we first did it, I got some people for sure.
Ah,
because
nice.
They didn't know that he wasn't there, and I just was playing. And I had them all labeled so I could have conversations, and I knew what the answers were going to be, and so that I could have like an entire back and forth with him, you know, paragraphs long of me talking and him responding like he's really there, and you know, people had no idea.
That's amazing.
I mean, I don't know what sickness I have where I spent hours pulling clips of him from shows doing this, but some evil deep part of me has done that for various things over the years.
Dude, that's grade A fuckery. I applaud you, sir.
That
That's
is amazing.
dedication to a joke. I
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah. No, we have a saying sometimes, even when, you know, whether they're good or bad, commit to the bit.
Yeah.
Like
Amen.
sometimes they don't go well, but that's when you double down and
Yep.
really commit to it and really just, you know, go down with the ship if it really isn't working, and just, you know, laugh at how bad it is sometimes.
Yeah. That's pretty funny. That is pretty funny.
You know that you're giving bio ideas, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, please. If you're stealing from me, you're stealing twice, because I stole it from somebody else.
Although I feel like we should do that like with the streamers. I mean, do a stream for Vyart, just have just take the best moments of Vyart. Although that's kind of hard to do because he does respond to the chat a lot. So.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he does. He's very interactive.
There's a way to troll. Don't worry. We'll
Sup,
figure it
Shaggy?
out.
That's we'll figure it out.
With
We'll
enough
figure it out.
preparation, you can do just about anything.
Oh, though, if we had like one or two of us in the chat with the fake Varia, we could do this.
There you go.
We have to have the timing down. We have to practice the shit out of this.
I know.
To get the
It'd be
timing
great.
down
That's gonna be
perfect.
awesome. Hey, he said commit to the bit.
Yeah, when I did this, I had it all set up like, you know, everything. I mean, I had, you know, him laughing at stuff, and
Jesus
you know, you know, just on and on. I can't even begin to tell you how many responses I've got for various things. You know, he'd defend me, and I'd say, "How dare you, sir?"
That's rude. I apologize.
You know, things, all kinds of stuff.
It's almost like he's on the show with us right now.
I know,
Right?
right?
That's, yeah. No, we used to get people going with that pretty good.
That's
I had him burping, I had him laughing, I had, you know, everything.
There's so
All
much
sorts of-
potential for this.
Trickery and fuckery. But yeah.
Times.
Get like a fourth person to record some things, so you have the invisible fourth guest.
Right. Yeah. That's a good idea.
Hey, handsome Jack.
Oh,
Oh wow, it's already been an hour.
that's the way the best Friday nights go.
I know, right? And I'm already out of a drink. Out of my scotch.
Damn you, sir.
I know.
Usually you have the bottle right there, though.
Not for the last. Actually, not since I moved into the new house. No, I haven't used the bottles in the kitchen.
The kitchen where you're making that jerky?
Not yet.
Look, I'm not trying to weasel my way in for some free jerky here, but if you keep talking about that jerky, not opposed
Another victim falls for the meat.
to some jerky.
It's kind of I'm telling you right now, if you taste Killer's jerky,
You'll never come back.
you'll never
never be the
come back.
same.
Like
I know
nothing
you're selling me on this. stuff.
nothing you
I take it.
eat afterwards will be you'll just be like you'll be like spitting it out. You'll be like it's once you've tasted
Oh,
this.
there's no spitting. There's no spitting of my jerky.
Not your jerky. If he tries to eat other jerky after that,
Anything else?
Oh yeah.
then
Pale
yeah,
in comparison.
They will.
it will
Really?
ruin all other jerky for you. I'm just throwing that out there so you know.
Do that or your money back.
For everything else, it's just jerky. For this, it's like eating Bambi. Or whatever the hell you kill to make it.
Andy.
Yeah, we never have asked what kind of meat this jerky is made out of. It's going to be one of those things like Sweeney Todd or,
No. No.
ends up being like, Soylent
machine for
Green or
pigs.
whatever the fuck. It's going to end up being humans. It's delicious.
It's kind of
Single word mail.
aging.
I like this brand.
You're just doing that to give Bio nightmares. Stop it.
Yes, we are.
Bad killer. I brought you on to be the straight man. How the hell did this get so...
Blame the girlfriend. She made me evil.
You were like this before that.
I'm still blaming her.
Sounds reasonable.
Yeah, exactly.
Just saying, curb stomping boots.
It's terrible. I'm gonna swear, like, literally less than a month, there are gonna be pink boots she's gonna be wearing.
Oh, shoot! I started writing a list.
Of what?
I think it might be at my desk at work, actually. I mean, I would
you
definitely
forget?
not be doing that at
Alright.
work. But... Where'd you... You just disappeared there for a second. No, I started my list of hit singles for the Pumpkin Spice Girls for our upcoming album before we go on tour. I'm thinking something with curb stomping needs to be in there too.
Something
Can you
like,
give me an
these
example?
These boots were made for walking.
I like the name. I'm just curious. If you have one you can throw my way? What's a single, a sample?
Oh, If You Want to Be My Latte would be one. That was
Okay.
taking it
I
a
see
more
where we're heading
literal.
with this.
Yeah, I was taking it a more literal route with that one. I don't know. I laughed a little too hard at that. I wasn't fully awake when I came up with that.
I like that. That's pretty good.
But yes. I still
Don't
haven't.
encourage her.
I still haven't. We broached this on the show like 2 weeks ago, and I still don't think I told Vampy that she was drafted into the group, so I might want to do that later, now that I think about it. But anyway.
I'll see if I can come up with any.
So. Well, Baron, I know that you have to start getting ready for your own stream, so we will wrap this up. Thank you guys for hanging out with us tonight. Fen, especially, thank you for rushing home and chilling with us as we got through our tech issues earlier tonight and got on the air. And
Oh, no. Thank you for having me. It was fun. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Plebeians, we've been talking about throughout the night, but if you haven't heard yet, RivalCon has been announced. It will be July 21st to 23rd of 2017, right here in Cleveland. More details will be available on RivalCastMedia.com in the upcoming weeks, so be sure to keep checking that out. If you haven't caught up with all of our written material, different announcements, different shows, you can find all that information on our home site at RivalCastMedia.com. Be sure to check us out, hang out with us throughout the week in our TeamSpeak server. We also have Discord. I was supposed to mention that, so I'm doing that. Killer, do you have the... Yeah, he's mouthing, good job. Did I kill Killer?
Nope. You didn't.
Ah! The patriarchy has muted you.
You mean the matriarchy.
Well, that too. We'll pop up that Discord thing in a minute because
Yeah, I don't have it on me. Sorry.
yeah. Well, okay. So I took it off. So I was on it one time on October 23rd of 2015 when we started the RCM channel. And I was on it that day, and I know I was on it that day because when I went to put it on my computer last night, they have a web version as well, and apparently I've been logged into it since that day. So when I went to go to download the thing for my computer last night, it told me that I had 1,200 plus new messages since October 23rd of 2015.
That is amazing.
It never logged me out. I'm like, I took this off my computer, so I'm not really... So, yeah, there was 1,200 messages that I got to go through last night. So we have it. It's there. We'll get it up on the Twitter info in a little, or the Twitch info in a little while. But check us out. Some of you have already found it. Paven, I think, is already on there. He might be able to help us out there. But we're trying. We're trying.
Hey, there is no try. There's do or do not.
Well, I
You're
did.
really missing the Yoda voice on that one.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, you need the
Do or
Yoda
do
voice.
not. There is no try. Mm-hmm.
All right.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, he's pretty good with those voices.
He's very good. You'll hear more of him in about, 15 minutes?
Just about. Enough to grab something to eat real quick, and we'll start the pre-show here as soon as we're offline.
All right, so stick around
Ladies and gentlemen, don't forget movie trivia night. Sorry, had to. Excited about this. I will shut up now.
No, you won't. I'm going to hear about this for the entire evening. Because it's an all-night stream, baby. All right. So we're going to let Baron go get something to eat and take care of that. Fen, again, thank you very much for hanging out with us. For the rest of you, we shall see you next Friday night. And from all of us here at RivalCast Media, cheers.
Ta-ta.